Sex workers' rights, human rights. Sex workers' rights, human rights. Sex workers' rights, human rights.
Prostitution has been described as one of the oldest professions in the world.
But a prostitute is someone who would love you no matter who you are, what you look like. Yes, it's true, children. But that's not why you pay a prostitute. No, you don't pay for her to stay. You pay her to leave afterward. That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Taylor.
A prostitute is like any other woman. They all trade something for sex, and they do it well.
Prostitutes run under many nicknames: hooker, whore, tramp, hoe, professional escort. Society judges them based on their nickname. Not all escorts will sleep with you, but a hoe always will.
I'm very high class, which means I charge by the hour, and I charge a lot.
So what is the difference between all these different types of prostitutes? A hooker or streetwalker solicits sex on the street or in public places, and a call girl or escort makes appointments by phone. Classy.
Weather. December 17th is the International Day to End Violence Against Sex Workers, and the red umbrellas become a symbol of sex worker rights and safety.
By joining unions, sex workers can fight for both their rights and legalization of their profession. From New York City to Australia, sex worker unions have sprung up all over the globe. Joining a union gives sex workers a united and powerful voice. Some form of sex work is legal in the following countries and states: England, Scotland, Canada, Thailand, the Philippines, New Zealand, Brazil, Australia, and Nevada.
Prostitution was legal in the United States until 1915. This is when the Women's Christian Union fought to make alcohol, prostitution, and drugs illegal.
In 1949, the United Nations adopted a resolution in favor of the decriminalization of prostitution for individual prostitutes, which has been ratified by 50 countries, not including the United States.
Prostitution is legal in Germany, it's legal in Australia, and it is less harm is done. It does not mean that it isn't a dangerous and potentially emotionally devastating line of work. Not a lot of people choose to go into prostitution as a career because...
Why is prostitution illegal? The rationale for its continued illegal status in the U.S. rests on two assumptions. 1, prostitution is linked to organized crime, and 2, prostitution is the cause of an increase of venereal disease. When in fact, the U.S. Department of Health consistently reports that only 3 to 5% of the sexually transmitted diseases in this country are related to prostitution, compared with 30 to 35% among teenagers.
How many HIV positive cases have you had, if any?
We've never had any. They've done over 66,000 tests on ladies that worked in our brothel. There's never been one reported or documented case ever.
Sex workers have long been targets. In 2003, one killer, the Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, was good enough to make his motivation plain, confessing to having strangled 90 women to death and having quote-unquote sex with their dead bodies. He told the court he chose sex workers specifically because he thought he could get away with it. Quote, "I thought I could kill as many of them as I wanted without getting caught." And he was right about that. Fellow sex workers were afraid to come forward with information that might have saved lives for fear that they themselves would be arrested. Those who did come forward were simply not believed. And that was...
If this is how you make your living and you're being abused or you were raped by a pimp or a John, you can't go to the police. People point to a lot of the harm done to prostitutes because of prostitution, but most of the harms that are identified with prostitution are actually the result of the prohibition.
Brothels like Sherry's Ranch are legal in some counties in Nevada. The law says condoms must be used. Whether it's for vaginal, oral or manual sex, at Sherry's they use over 15,000 a year.
It's safe because we use condoms here. I've been in the business a few years on and off, and I've used a lot, thousands. It varies. It could be a week I use hundreds.
The madame has to make sure the girls have regular health checks. That too is the law. The girls are tested for HIV when they start work and after more than 5 days off.
Prostitution should be legal. As George Carlin said, it is legal to fuck and legal to sell stuff, so why isn't it legal to sell fucking?
Can any be free while all are not free? Sex workers say no one's safe as long as any category exists of person or worker who still under the law is considered fair game for brutal treatment. Those who agree just might want to find their brolly today. Thanks for watching.